Hello everyone, Tina here. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Thanks for joining me. Today I get to share with you a project for Gerda Steiner Designs using a brand new stamp set to the Gerda Steiner Shop. I'll link it down below if you guys want to check it out, but this is part of the new release. It's called A Whale of a Time. Cute little ocean whales on here and lots of cute little sentiments. Today I thought we'd make a fun card. My sentiment for this card says, "You always make me smile," which is just so cheery. So we're going to do some stamping with the largest whale in the stamp set, along with the starfish, and then the little water that's coming. It's supposed to go out of her little blowhole on the top of the whale. So just these three images are what we're going to color in. I stamped on Neenah 80-pound cardstock, and I want to do coloring with my Copic markers. So I'll play a little music while I color, and then when I'm done coloring, I will catch you back. Okay, coloring is all done. Now I'm going to use my scissors and we'll just fussy cut out our images. The Gerda Steiner Shop does have coordinating dies for this set, and I'll link them down below as well. If you'd like the coordinating dies, the option is available for you. Okay, I'm going to actually use my scissors and fussy cut out. I'm going to better fussy cut out the top of my whale. I wasn't happy. I had too much white area, so I'm just going to do a little extra trimming. Okay, with a piece of white cardstock, I'm going to create some waves. Now we're going to create waves that are not horizontal. We're going to create vertical waves. So this is my little wavy die, and I'm going to create basically some hourglass kind of shapes by flip-flopping this die. I'm going to show you here. So I'm just going to take it and flip it upside down to create these waves. Now if you were to make this go the sideways, it would go horizontal and they would kind of really look like waves, but I thought we'd do something different and make them go vertical. Okay, so after we have the front of my panel and the back of the panel removed, we're just going to use those 4 pieces that we die cut out, and to secure them to our card base, I'm going to create a frame using 2 double stitched rectangle dies. They're the 2 largest that I have, so it's going to create a 1/4 inch frame that the outside measures 4 inches by 5 1/4. And then I used the largest die to create a background panel, so my frame will fit right on top. Now the cardstock that I used for my background panel here is Strathmore Bristol Smooth cardstock, because we're going to do some ink blending with some oxide inks. So I have 2 different colors, and I end up bringing in 1 more color. We're going to start off by taking Twisted Citron and going over the bottom of our panel here. I sped it up really fast just so I could go through this. And then on the top half, we're going to use Cracked Pistachio. And I thought the color combination was really pretty, but I thought we'd bring in a little bit darker blue. So we're going to bring in some Mermaid Lagoon and kind of richen up the top of our panel here. I'm going to bring down some more of that cracked pistachio, blend it all together, and then add my Mermaid Lagoon on the top. Once I'm happy with the blending, I'm going to use my water bottle. We're going to spray some water droplets. I'm just going to close up my oxide inks and set them aside, and then add some water droplets here, and then any excess water I'll just pick up with my little towel. And then I wanted this back panel to be sparkly, so I'm going to bring in some Sparkle Shimmer Spritz. I think that looks great. I love the oxidation that occurs with the Strathmore Bristol Smooth cardstock. I think it really pulls out that color. When you use your Sparkle Shimmer Spritz, it does pull out color also. I wanted kind of a watery effect, so I didn't dab it off just yet. I used my heat gun to dry it, just so the water droplets looked a little bit more like water. Okay, so my panel's not quite all the way dry, so we're going to set that aside and work on our frame here. I'm going to flip it around. I'm going to add glue behind the edges of the outside edges of my frame, and then we're going to add our vertical waves. I thought this is something a little bit different. I like to do different, and so, but I really love the outcome. I wanted my sparkle background to be kind of peeking behind the waves, so I'm going to adhere the waves to my frame, but I'm going to kind of spread them out evenly, so it's kind of evenly spaced when I attach it to my frame here. And I think that's going to look good. Now there's going to be some overhanging on the top and also on the sides, but that's okay. We're going to take the scissors and we're going to fussy cut the excess that's overhanging off. So we have that frame size. Again, it's 4 inches by 5 1/4. We'll just do a little trimming. And if you wanted to do this card horizontally, I think it would work great too. Okay, so this is going to be placed on front of my oxide ink panel. So we're going to flip it over, and I'm going to add some foam tape behind here for a little bit of dimension. We're going to cover the entire back. Once we have the release paper removed, we're going to add this to our oxide panel, and then you can see that sparkly, oceany color in the background. I think it looks so pretty. Okay. After we have that done, we're going to add some foam squares behind our whale and our other 2 little images. And then after we have this done, we're going to stamp our sentiment. Again, for this card, we're going to stamp the sentiment that says, "You always make me smile." I'm stamping with my VersaFine Onyx Black ink. And in the stamp set, there's a row of those little border fishes. I stamped that too. Originally, I was going to keep them together, but I ended up separating them. And I did put it on the inside of my card. We're going to do that in just a little bit. But I went ahead and adhered my background panel to my A2 size card base. And I'm adhering it with the greener oxide ink towards the top, you can see here, and then the bluer is towards the bottom. Later on, I go and I decided to flip it around. I wanted the blue to be on the bottom. I wanted the opposite, basically. I wanted the blue to be on top and then the green to be on the bottom, just because the blue matched my whale, and it was kind of drowned if I had it the other way. So here I just flipped it around. I went ahead and added my sentiment, and then we're going to add our little whale. I'm placing him in an area where I can add his little water spout without it hitting completely one of those wavy lines. I'm going to go ahead and add my little starfish. And then for bells and whistles, I'm going to use my Nuvo Aqua Shimmer pen, go over my whale and starfish, and I'm going to add some glossy accents to the water spout, and then also to the little dots on my starfish. And then we're going to bring in some iridescent bubbles, just a few of them. The iridescent in real life really picks up the colors of the blue, and so I think that looks really pretty. I'm just adding 5 of those. And then that completes my card for today, guys. And again, if you wanted to do it horizontal or landscape style card, you could very well do that same scene with it. I want to thank you so much for joining me. Again, this is a brand new stamp set called A Whale of a Good Time, or a whale of a time. Thank you so much for stopping by, guys. I wish you a fantastic day, and we will see you again real soon. Bye-bye.